Hello everybody, it's your boy Muse, and today I want to go over all the gachas I've played from best to worst. Now, I don't really have a top 10 because I've only played 9 of these games, so we're just going to put Moggle Stardive in number 10 because I would have loved to play it. Why are you not on console, Moggle Stardive? Why are you trying to blow up people's phones, Moggle Stardive? Hurry up and get on console. It says you still want to be on PlayStation 5. Has it been a year yet? I actually do want to play this game. It looks interesting. However, you know what? I'll talk about that later. We're here to talk about the worst to best gacha games that I've played personally, alright? You can have your own personal list, okay? Just because I put these things at a place for myself doesn't mean I'm making a declaration that, no, this is how it is for everyone. No, this is my own personal list. I have to say this. Some people get weird. Anyways, moving on. Tower of Fantasy, number 9. It was the worst game I ever played. I only picked it up for 2 weeks before Wuthering Waves dropped on PlayStation 5 because I was so antsy about playing Wuthering Waves. I picked up a lot of games waiting for Wuthering Waves. I picked up Honkai Star Rail. I picked up Zenless Zone Zero waiting for Wuthering Waves. So it's going to be funny where you see Wuthering Waves on this list. Alright? Alright, so all I gotta say about Tower of Fantasy is that game was terrible. The MMO aspect of it made me realize I don't like MMOs, and that game was so busy, it made me scared of any game that might be a big city, which is why I was low-key scared of NTE. But I'll talk about that later. Anyways, number 8 is Chaos Zero Nightmare. Honestly, I don't take any phone game serious. I logged on to Chaos Zero Nightmare for a bit. All I did was pull. I just went ahead and pulled. I never saved for anybody. I just pulled. Whoever I got. Never cared. And then Green Hair Astra came out, and I was trying to pull her. I didn't, so I just deleted the game because I wasn't even playing it seriously. It didn't matter. Next, at number 7, we have Faye. Fire Emblem Heroes, and this game I really just collect characters. I log in, collect my orbs. If I have enough orbs to collect characters, I collect characters. And honestly, I don't even log in enough. I forget this game exists half the time. There will be a random 3 days in a month where I realize, oh yeah, Fire Emblem Heroes, let me play it. And then I use up all my free pulls and then forget about it for another month. That's how I feel about Fire Emblem Heroes. That's how I feel about any game that is on the phone. So please, guys, don't make any recommendations of playing a phone gacha game. I'm not doing it, okay? If it's not on console or console worthy, it's not for me. Moving on to the real games. In number 6, we have Wuthering Waves. I know it's a surprise, guys, but here's the thing. Wuthering Waves, this game was supposed to easily surpass every other game on this list. Maybe not Zenless Zone, but easily over every other game on this list. However, the problems I have with Wuthering Waves is hunting down echoes sucked. I wish echoes dropped mats instead of being artifacts, because I love artifact farming in every other game except Wuthering Waves. When I tell you I didn't even try to perfect my builds in Wuthering Waves, I just got the echoes that fit my characters, and then I stopped. The end. I was done. I did not want to perfect my characters in Wuthering Waves. I just wanted my echo set, and I wanted to be through with it. Another thing is the community. Oh my gosh, it's a bunch of tryhards and Kuro bots, and a bunch of people. And drama farmers. I would have liked to be the casual Wuthering Waves player that the community seems to be hungry for. But I couldn't, because I couldn't even play the game. I was not skills-based, but more like trying to get myself to play the game. After 2.3, I just couldn't. It was hard to even try to do a story quest. And it's because of how they treat their characters, where they'll be in one story quest and then we never really see them again, right? And if we do see them again, they don't play any real relevant part in the story. Maybe Cantarella at the end of Renacita, but most of the time they just show up just to be there and then they're gone again. So I didn't like how Wuthering Waves was treating their characters. I'm very big when it comes to characters. Alright? If you want your gacha game to be successful in my eyes, you better make me love those characters. And Wuwa was not making me love those characters. In fact, they were making me salty because these characters are beautiful. Why don't I see them more? Why don't I get to know more about them? And why don't I get to see how they react in different situations? How come none of the other Black Shore members showed up for Shorekeeper when she was in trouble? Why does every story quest feel like I'm going on a date with characters? I just couldn't keep entertaining Wuthering Waves. I had to throw it on the chopping block. Alright, so in number 5 we have Honkai Star Rail, and honestly, it's amazing how Honkai Star Rail is even here, but their characters are beautiful. Maybe not Wuwa beautiful, but at least they put some respect on their characters, okay? Their characters are beautiful, actually have personality. We actually do get to see them within the story, and they get to be returning characters within the story. They actually have personal missions that they go on. I like that Honkai is pretty easy to maintain. You don't need to do the story in order to build their characters. Wuwa, I could not build some of my characters because I didn't do story, and because I didn't do story, I didn't have regions unlocked, and because I didn't have regions unlocked, I couldn't pick flowers. Flowers were keeping me from leveling up my characters past level 50 in Wuwa. While Honkai Star Rail, I can ignore an entire patch and still be able to build my characters. I have not stepped foot in Plan Arcadia yet, and I'm building my characters just fine. So when it comes to Honkai Star Rail, because it's easy to maintain, I have it at number 5. However, the fact that I haven't stepped foot in Plan Arcadia yet and don't feel like stepping foot in Plan Arcadia, even though it clearly has improved compared to Amphorius and Penacony. Watching the videos, it actually looks like fun. It's just, I don't know. I can't seem to push myself to do story. And the last time I felt like this, I uninstalled that game. So Honkai Star Rail might not make it past the second Culling Games. Oh man. In number 4 I have Enfield. Now when it comes to Enfield, the only reason it's not higher is because, once again, it's hard to get me to do story, and I had a 5-month IRL side mission to do recently. I got it out the way, but because of that side mission, I am so behind on Enfield. I haven't even made it into Wu Ling yet. Now, that's great that everyone is complaining that Enfield's patches are dead, because it means, oh, I have time to catch up and probably even be up to date with Enfield soon, because I will be streaming Enfield this weekend. However, Enfield is very time consuming like these other gacha games when it comes to their story, which is why I really brag about who's in the number 1 spot. But yeah, every part of Enfield's story seems to take about 3 hours. Just for the part, not even completion, for a part of their story. So now that I have so much to catch up with, my body is fighting me to continue the story, because it's like, oh my gosh, we're never gonna be done with this. It's gonna take months to catch up. But I will play regardless, because I do love Enfield. The characters are gorgeous. They do put respect on the characters' names. Like, we do have reoccurring characters. We do have characters with passions. And we even have reoccurring NPC stories. Wow, I love how Arknight's Enfield has been treating their characters. Even, bro, we lost this old lady NPC. I think her name was Molly. I forgot her name. I'm sorry. But we lost this Jenny. I think it was like Jenny. But we lost this old lady NPC. I actually had feelings for her. Wow. So yeah, Arknight's Enfield is up there for me. The only reason it's not higher up is because of how the next game treats my time. And in the number 3 spot is NTE, which is absolutely crazy to me, because when I tell you NTE looks like an unpolished game, it looks like a game that was rushed out just to have a fighting chance against Ananta. And what's going on with Ananta, by the way? Anyways, I did not expect NTE to make it so high up this list. Because when I tell you, I looked at NTE and I thought to myself, when I download this game, it's going to be the easiest game to uninstall during the next Culling Games. But the thing NTE gets right is it follows Genshin's way of hunting down materials in the open world game. And it makes it fun. Every day when I'm trying to build my characters, I have to go seeking out these anomalies. I have to go running around the world trying to collect materials. And that's the way NTE is low-key in a way forcing me to interact with the game is what I like about the game. Because what I like about gachas is gachas give me a reason to log in. I was talking about this with my cousins the other day. Like, the reason why you won't see me play another Pokemon game anymore, even though I swore my life to Pokemon, but now, these days, after playing these free gacha games, the reason I can't play other games anymore is because where's the stopping point? The stopping point depends on where I want to stop, right? But gacha games gives you a stopping point. Do your dailies. If you want to do more, okay, do more. But do your dailies and that's it. And that's what I love about gacha games. A lot of people complain that gacha games are these things that make you feel like you're clocking in for a job. I love the fact that it makes me feel like I'm clocking in for a job because I have a reason to come in. If I don't come in, my characters don't progress, and there's a daily progression that you lose out on. While in other games, I could pick them up anytime. So what is my reason for playing with them? Like, other games feel like I need a luxury of time in order to play them, while gacha games are saying, hey, log in for 5 to 15 minutes. Just do your dailies, at least your dailies. And then if you want to do more, if you have the luxury of time, do more. And that's why I love gachas, and that's why I love NTE, because NTE forces me to log in and do something. I am free to play on NTE, so I thought, okay, since I'm not paying the monthly on this game, that means I can ignore it for a couple of days, and yet, for some reason, I don't. I want to log into this game, guys. And it's making me mad that I'm completely free to play in this game. At least get the $5 monthly if you're gonna log in every day. That's what I'm thinking in my head. But guess what? Because of the 90 pulls for a guaranteed character, I don't even have to stress out about getting the $5 monthly to get enough pulls for a character. I used up 73 pulls getting Lacrimosa, right? And I'm like, oh man, Shinku's coming up soon. I already have 110 pulls for Shinku. That means she's guaranteed already, just 90 pulls alone. And guess what? 90 pulls alone, and I have an extra 20 pulls ready for the next character with highlights because I'm doing highlights only. So NTE, because it's free to play friendly, because they actually follow Genshin's method of open world combat system and material system, I actually like this game. And like I told you, I thought this game was easily gonna get culled in the next Culling game, but no, I'm actually looking at Honkai Star Rail and Arknights like, hey you two, you better get me to enjoy you soon or you're getting cut. And Arknights just unleashed a new endgame. So they're giving me a reason to level up my characters. They're giving me a reason to hurry up and get through story so then I can actually compete in that endgame. Star Rail, what are you doing? Because I don't really want to step foot in Plan Arcadia. I just feel like I have to at some point. So let's move on to number 2. Now this might ruffle a few feathers, but number 2 is Genshin. Genshin was the game... Okay, before playing Genshin, I spent a lot of my life looking for the next Kingdom Hearts, which is why you might see something very familiar in my profile pic. But I spent my whole life looking for the next Kingdom Hearts, right? While waiting for Kingdom Hearts 3 in between 2 to 3. No game could deliver that Kingdom Hearts feeling. But then, in the group chat, my friend gave us the Genshin trailer. And I went back in the group chat like, guys, this is the game I've been looking for. And I played it and I loved it. It was amazing. But that's not the reason I have it at number 2. It's not nostalgia. I'm not a nostalgia guy. Guys, after playing all of these other gacha games, when everyone was throwing up the whole Genshin could never during Star Rail's run, I'm sitting here playing these other gacha games like, low-key, Genshin doesn't have to. what are you doing in Star Rail? Like, in Star Rail, all you could do is participate in endgame and do story. Yes, there's events to quell your thirst, but you can get through with those events in a night. So all you can do is story and endgame. In Genshin, I could run around with my characters deleting mobs. When it comes to Weathering Waves, how does Genshin beat Weathering Waves for me? They actually care about their characters. The fact that all these characters feel so well thought out, and they actually feel like they live in the world that Genshin has provided us. We go on so many events and missions with these characters. While Wuwa, where are the members of the Black Shore when Shorekeeper's in trouble? How come when Carlotta showed up, Zani had to go away? You work for Carlotta. Help us! How come the only event I enjoyed in Wuwa was the fishing event because Phoebe could actually come out with us and interact with the world? For a long time, I was sitting around saying Genshin doesn't have to. In fact, the first game to actually compete with Genshin, even though, spoilers, Endless Zone is my favorite game, the first game that could actually compete with Genshin was Arknight's Enfield. The story's solid, they pay respects to their characters, they even pay respects to NPCs. NPCs are reoccurring characters. There's a factory gameplay that you can take part in. The game had so much content. I don't know how it is now, because everybody is saying that it's dry. So, I will have to take their word for it. But you could take part in so much content in Arknight's Enfield that it actually felt like a legitimate game. Everyone was saying what felt like a legitimate game, but then, to be honest, once you do story, what is left to do? Run around and fight echoes? I'll be damned. But in Genshin, I didn't even take part in endgame for the longest. Honkai Star Rail was the first game that taught me to love endgame. Cause even when I was playing Zenless Zone Zero and doing Deadly Assault, I hated Deadly Assault. I got used to Deadly Assault halfway through Season 1. Now I love Deadly Assault. But Genshin, I never had to love endgame. I just ran around with my characters, just blasting Helicrolls, and that was enough. Even though Genshin's currency sucks, when I tell you I still had a blast in that game. So everyone's saying, oh, but Star Rail gives you a lot of currency. Yeah, but if you don't have story and you did your endgame for the week, what can you do in Star Rail? Nothing. Wait till next week. Actually, not even wait till next week. Wait the Monday after next. That's crazy. Zenless Zone at least gives you endgame every Friday. So yeah, even though Genshin was this stingy game with its currency, it still felt way better than the other games. The elemental system in this game is so fun, and I have not felt another system as good as that. Don't get me wrong, Wuwa and Zenless's combat, way better. Even Arknight's combat is better. But yeah, I really just like Genshin because of how it treats its characters. Its elemental system was fun. And when it comes to Genshin, I could just log in and get lost. So now that brings me to my favorite gacha game ever. At least as of right now. And that is Zenless Zone Zero. And I love Zenless Zone Zero because they respect your time. That is the biggest reason. The story is amazing. Like, out of all these other gachas I've played, Zenless Zone Zero has the best gacha story. You know why? Because it doesn't take me 3 hours to complete a part of a chapter. It takes me 2 hours to complete the whole run. Maybe even an hour and a half sometimes. And I love that. And you get so much lore and character depth off of that 1 hour and 30 minutes or 2 hour than you do listening to 6 hours Star Rail content. Listening to 3-hour content from Arknights and Wuwa. And heck, that's why I even put NTE so high up at number 3. Because NTE story, I was able to knock all of that out from beginning to current in less than 8 hours. In fact, the 1.1 story was only 2 hours long. Hugo's story and chapter 1 and 2 have been the longest stories, right? Those were the stories that tend to drag on. But other than that, nice, quick pace, You get to fall in love with the characters, and in fact, I love Zenless Zone characters so much. Someone asked me, do you have a most hated character? And I don't. In fact, I have to give you a meme answer, and I have to tell you, oh, I hate Seth. I don't know what it is, but every time I see him near my store, he just bugs the hell out of me. Ooh, Seth. But I don't really hate anybody in Zenless. They're all likable characters. Every single one of them. Some of them might have annoying voices, but they're all likable characters. And what did I tell you? Characters are very important to me. The fact that Zenless characters feel so in-depth, so full. I love playing Zenless. Every time a story chapter drops, I can't wait to get home. I can't wait to get home and knock out Zenless' story. And the fact that I can knock out Zenless' story in less than 3 days, because sometimes I might take my time with it, but whenever I do actually have time to sit down and just complete the story, I can knock it out in 2 hours. While other nights it's just like, oh, I just want to play one part of the story and then do some events and stuff and just call it a day. And I do. Everyone is complaining about Season 2, and I do understand the gripes, but even Season 2 story knocks out anything else I've played with these other gacha games. The only thing that bugged me about Season 2 is it felt like Zenless was losing its identity. Like, Season 2 felt so serious. But I'm saying here like, guys, you're Zenless Zone 0. Play with your animations like you used to. There was too much standing around and talking about facts when it came to Season 2, but they're back. Season 3 has opened up beautifully. My favorite part in the Season 3 story thus far is just Norma going, watch your fingies! Or going, Belle, why is my hat is stuck? Why am I talking about such unimportant things? That's how much I love Zenless right now. And I really hope they continue this throughout version 3, because I'm not saying you're not allowed to get serious. There were serious moments in 3.0 right now, but remember who you are. You're Zenless Zone 0. We live for those goofy moments. Billy and Sissia might hands down have saved Zenless Zone 0 just by existing. And there you have it, everybody. I hope I didn't keep you for too long, but that is what I believe is the worst to best gacha games that I've played thus far. How about you go ahead and give me your list of what the best and worst gacha games are to you, because I know my list must not match yours. Come on now. With that being said, I'm wishing you a good night.
See you later, too.